All right, everybody. We are here today with a little something special. So, hope you all watched the video yesterday. As I said, I was just trying to be as real as possible with you, and we are going to, it's not really a reaction video. I'm sure you see all the people that do the reaction videos. This is more of a breakdown of Hopsin's Alone with me, and maybe we can do, we're gonna, basically what I want to do is I want to also be focusing on what I or we believe to be some of the artists out there that I really connect with. And when I say connect with, it comes back to real knows real, right? And what that means is that people don't sell out to the industries that they're in. And specifically, I mean, in the music industry, it is just ridiculous that you basically have to sell your soul, and I mean that, to actually have success. And it's difficult to have success without either. I'm not going to get into the rudeness of it, but the point that I'm trying to make here is that, like, for you to keep your truth and not sell yourself to get where you want to be, trusting in that something is actually going to happen for you in the time that it needs to, and that we don't need to pay our way for anything. And we certainly are not going to pay our way for anything here at Owls. And we've learned that the hard way. And so so first of all, I decided that I'm going to use the Blue Dream today. Main reasons for that is that the Blue Dream is like a nice hybrid. I love the cannabis derived terps here. And so I just felt that it would be a good thing where we're going to go through the video. I'm going to break it down. And there's a lot that I connect with this. And coming back to alone, right? We've been alone for so long. And now Hopsin, by the way, if you don't know, like, Hopsin speaks some real shit. When you listen to the lyrics, and it's not about like banging hoes and, guns and let's have our big cars and chains and like let's look like the baddest motherfuckers because we got money. Like, I think we're all waking up to the fact that, like, money is good, and yes, money is something that can bring happiness to an extent. Like, for instance, if you're broke and you're on the street and now you got money, I mean, there's a curve, and eventually you get to the point where money isn't everything. And so coming back to you trying to sell yourself to get to a place faster than the way you think you should get there is fake as fuck. And to each their own. If people want to do that, that's up to them. But I'm going to start to connect with some of these people, and I want to go through some of these videos, and I hope that you do the same thing. So let's get into it. As always, the white setting, flavor saver. Let's go.
Marcus fucking Hopsin, my guy, what up? Don't mean to intervene. How are things going? Talk to me. How you living, G? You look so confused right now. Do you remember me? Cause I've been with you since a teen, fucking you up mentally.
All right. Do you hear that? So basically the alter self has come in now and is speaking to him and talking to him about, hey, how you doing, man? I've been with you since you're a teenager, right? So teenager, obviously this is when, we begin to move into becoming an adult. And as a child, we are very innocent. We everything is beautiful, and then boom, we begin to sort of get this other side that comes in that's like, wait, I don't want to be around my parents, right? I just want to fit in. And so this is basically, this actually reminds me a lot of Eminem, and reminds me of that one with Dr. Dre. I forget the name of it, but very similar. But let's get it.
inside your head where the rent is free. I'm just here to make sure you keep all your crazy tendencies. Look at yourself in disbelief, struggle with your identity. Stuck in depression until you diagnosed with it clinically.
Boom! Do you hear that? I mean, let's just put that back here. Let's just put that back here.
Make sure you keep all your crazy tendencies. Look at yourself in disbelief, struggle with your identity.
Look at you in disbelief, struggle with your identity. And how much of this is real for each and every one of us. And one thing I want to say is that what he does before releasing these videos, he actually put out some content that basically just talked about the fact that like he'd been in a really dark place for like a long period of time, and he released this album, and basically this is just him getting his shit off his chest, right? And again, as we move into this it's sort of like this point of fruition whereby we've been through COVID, we've been all alone, we've been by ourselves, and now it's sort of we're coming out of that. And I think the videos like this really show that.
Stuck in depression until you diagnosed with it clinically. How's your love life? It's still a trifling mess. Nigga, you 35. You haven't found a wife yet? I mean, if I was you, would I be stressed?
Why, yes.
I guess a mail order bride is nice. It might be best. So how did you manage to get rich and be so empty?
How did you manage to get so rich and be so empty? So how much of that is true for so many people, right? It's like we, as humans, we've been almost like fed this lie that is money equals happiness, and that if you become rich, you're gonna be happy. And it's just not the truth, right? It's just not the truth. Where do you find happiness? Happiness is inside in each and every one of us. And so if you can create that, and I feel like I'm pretty fortunate that I would say I'm predominantly, it's not really about being happy either. It's really just about you knowing yourself. And so I think this here is, it's just gold. I think it's just absolutely gold, because there's no point getting to success if you're empty on the inside, because then you got to really examine yourself. And this is basically what he's saying. It's like, hey, I made a shit ton of money. I'm a millionaire, and I'm empty on the inside. Wait, hold up. What's wrong with me? Wait, hold up. It's got control of me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be. Again, what is he talking about here? He's talking about the fact that it's like, where do I fit in, right? I want to be just like that over there. Or like, what is my place? I just want to fit in. And I don't know where I'm meant to be. But guess where you're meant to be? Inside here, which is you. Whatever you are is it. You don't need to be anybody else. You don't need to follow like anybody else. You can just be true to you. But when you're true to you, a lot of fears come up, because then you may sort of stand out, or you may, it may not be accepted in the current surroundings that you're in. And it's extremely hard. And every single one of us, I mean, I work on this a lot. And I think this man is just speaking just absolute truth. The man inside the mirror.
So how's the rap life? Do people enjoy your music? Or you still spitting that bullshit to destroy the youth? Be honest, you live in the shadow with Jordan Lucas. Jealous? I know that you are. My point is proof. Fuck happened to you?
Whoa! So just, right, what he's talking about there is like, it's like, takes a lot to put your heart on the table like that, right? I'm sure, like, maybe some of you haven't heard of Hopsin, but I'm sure like everyone's heard of Joyner Lucas at this stage. I mean, and it's tough, right? It's tough sometimes when you have people who are these superstars, and it's like you look to the outside of like, oh, I just want to be them. And even as a, relating that back to like Owls as a brand, I mean, it's like, it's very tough sometimes to stick with what you believe in, to be you, when you've got all these others out there doing something in a very different way, and then you get pressured from a lot of different ways, and so to be able to just be like, "No, this is who we are and we're standing by it," and as this man says it here, to just not be in somebody, you don't need to be in anybody else's shadow, you just need to be you.
You was spitting so cold, you was the ill man of Hopsin on the list with the ghosts. Then you fell off, you should've took a different approach. I hate to say it, but you'll never be like Kendrick or Cole, nigga. It's fucked up, that isn't fair, Marcus. I'm hoping that God will answer your prayers, Marcus. But even if he was the ill man of Hopsin on the list with the ghosts.
The ill mind of Hopsin on the list with the goats, the greatest of all time.
You fell off, you should've took a different approach. I hate to say it, but you'll never be like Kendrick or Cole.
You'll never be like Kendrick or Cole. So again, what are we talking about here is this comparison, right? And I mean, we get it from our parents, we get it from our peers, and it's always like, oh, well, this is like what you're meant to be like. This is it over here. And it's and more often than not, it really comes from people trying to tell you what they really believe is right. And at the end of the day, it really comes back to you. And you just need to be you. You don't need to be anybody else. And turn off that negative chit chatter in your head that tells you all you aren't good enough. You're not going to be like this. Because as soon as you start thinking those things, I mean, you stop your growth.
It's fucked up. That isn't fair, Marcus. I'm hoping that God will answer your prayers, Marcus. But even if he does, the chances are rare that you'll have hands in the air, headlining medicine square garden. Nigga, put the mic down. Don't you fight this fight. Cause you the corny rapper only weird white kids like. So every time the blogs post you, the comments gon' roast you. I would rather be dead than be caught living in your shoes. Wait,
Hold up.
I'm tripping. Folks wrong with me. I can't leave me alone with me. I'm like, who's this nigga? I'm riding my family. It couldn't be clearer.
The man inside the mirror.
Wait, hold up. It's got control of me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be. I'm like, who's this nigga? I'm riding my family. It couldn't be clearer. The man inside the mirror. Alright, I got an idea. I'll tell you how it works. It's gonna sound
Here comes, ego coming in. It's like, I feel like what he's talking about here is often like a battle between, it's really about a battle between heart and mind, or the ego and then your truth. And the ego is always scheming, right? It's always scheming. Hey, I got this plan here. We're gonna do it like this, and we'll manipulate other people to like get what we want, or we can like pay this money here so we can be put in this limelight over here. And it's just like, turn off the chit chatter, turn off the schemes, right? Check back into you. Check back into you. Silence the brain, check into the heart.
a little outrageous, but hear me out first. Turn your phone off for 2 weeks and start an outburst of worried family members, which leads to a local town search. But when they find you, you dead inside of your crib with a letter that says goodbye to your kid. But you don't get to see him anyway, cause your ex is wildin' and shit. So when it's little head, it's like you already died. It's a trigger. Like you reside in heaven and hell, whichever side that it is. Your baby mom's a regret the shit she never tried to get fixed. If you're alive, chances are she'll never try to repent. I'm just trying to show.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about, suicide, right? We're talking about contemplating our death, whether that is to, again, make people, right? Sometimes we get in these like twisted mindsets, and it's like, well, maybe I should just kill myself, right? And these are, I mean, I don't know, is there any person that's never considered that at some point in their life? I think that we can all struggle, and but that's never the way. And I'm gonna butcher this, but I forget who said it, but it's like pain is not something that ever goes away. It just transfers. So if you're feeling like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself, guess what? Your whole family, all your friends, they end up just taking that. And so again, here what he's trying to say is, well, hey, maybe they'll love me, maybe they'll see me once I'm not there anymore. I hope you've all seen The Mask, right? The green mask, put the mask on, take your mask off. Here he is, The Mask.
Until this transition is done into the new life. smash it. Is it fun? Yeah, everybody got problems and we all fighting this big war, but your problems are different. You got nothing to live for. Hold up. Fuck's wrong with me? I can't leave me alone with me.
I can't leave me alone with me. You got to be asking yourself, do you always have to be with other people? Can you be by yourself? Are you afraid of being by yourself? And ask yourself those questions, right? Why would it? You don't want to be by yourself. Is there certain fears you got to face? Is there stuff in your childhood you got to look at? Just a hell of a lot of stuff that when you don't have the distractions anymore, you don't have the outlets, whether that's drugs, partying, it could even be sports, whatever it is, work. I mean, Jesus, work. What is it that creates those distractions for you? So just, again, it's fascinating, right? We've come out of this point where for the first time in decades, we've been alone. We've been indoors, and now this video is coming out. I mean, it's just like, it's incredible.
Control of me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be. I'm like, who is this nigga? I'm rocking my family. It couldn't be clearer. The man inside the mirror. What I'm thinking, what you're thinking is not the important thing. We are alive right now. That is the important thing. It is important that you focus on this fundamental sense of aliveness within you. And then you will see there is a natural distance between you and your thought process. Once you create a little space between you and your mind, between you and your body, this is the end of something. Don't identify any thought as negative because it's just a thought. Who told you it's negative? It's just a thought. You're making it up. Maybe you like it. What's the problem? If you understand it's just a thought, it has no power. If you think it's a reality, then it destroys you.
Just want to take that back here just to this point. I don't know who this guy is that is speaking, but he says some fascinating things here. And I think the main thing that I pick up from this is that we often mix up but we basically we decide to make things positive and negative, and we think then of, positive and negative, rather than looking at it from a science perspective, more like a charge. We look at positive as like good, negative, bad. And so when we have certain thoughts in our head or we feel certain feelings, we instinctively go down to this is negative, negative is bad, bad is I shouldn't have this, I need to take it away from me, and I don't know how to do that, so whatever it is, drink, drugs, blah, 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 blah. Versus you being able to say, it's okay to feel the feelings that I have. When you know yourself and you can be okay with you and learn how to feel your feelings, ground them, because feelings are just like electricity, they need to be grounded. When you don't ground your feelings, you end up being in a position whereby the bottle just has to explode. And I really believe it's like a magnetic reaction. We all have frequencies where we have these frequencies that we put off. If you're constantly feeling angry or whatever it is, well, you know what? Sometimes you need to release, and then boom, you somehow, you run into something, somebody hits your car, you're like, fuck you, and you got to release, right? Or else other people, maybe it's sports or whatever it is. But the main thing here is that don't categorize yourself into allowing those negative thoughts to come in. It's absolutely okay to be happy, to be sad, to be angry, to be afraid, and don't be hating yourself because you have those things. So let's just give it one more, put it back. Who told you it was negative? Maybe you're making it up. Boom. Undercover Prodigy, yo. All right. That was it. That was our first video that we've ever done like that. And let us know what you think. Do you wanna see more of this? I certainly have another one or two that I'm gonna do. And I want to hear the comments and let us know what you think. Peace.